Hey everyone, how you doing? Pastor KP here, your friendly neighborhood pastor. Hope all is well with you, and I hope you're staying strong in the Lord. Welcome to freedoulostv. This is my YouTube channel. Thanks for subscribing, thanks for liking, thanks for sharing, and thanks for the comments. Thanks also for the emails, right? I do my best to respond to the comments that you share, all right? So I appreciate it and continue to support and continue to do what you can to let the preacher know that you appreciate it. The other thing that I'd like to say is, of course, I try to do it as often as I can so that you all know that I'm not speaking on behalf of a church, conference, union, or division, or even GC. What I'm doing is that I'm commenting on things that have been put out by our denomination, right? I'm an SDA pastor, but I'm not speaking on behalf of the SDA church. My opinion, my views, my concerns, or whatever you want to call it, and that's it. They're my own. So don't be offended and don't think that I am going off the rails or perhaps abandoning the Adventist church. Nope, love the church. I've been in it and I'm not planning to go anywhere. I'm going to combine in this document that I've been sharing with you that was a response to Pastor Vine. It's the concerns regarding COVID-19, church governance, and liberty of conscience, right? I did one already, I did two already, and we are going to number 3 and number 4 because they are similar. I want to combine the two of them. And yeah, we'll go from there. And also, I'm trying to get through the material because there are lots of things coming out now. And it's very important that, number one, you are aware of it. And number two, as long as our church has this document up, whether it's the 2015 one or the statement, the 2015 statement, and the document for October, the reaffirmation document, the courts have forced Company P to release their documents in order as to how they came about getting permission for the vanilla, right? For children and for everyone. So Company P is supposed to, got the authorization, right, in order to be given this stuff all over the world. Company M, of course, Company J and Company A as well. And you have some others, but it's the prominent companies, P and M, right? And the information that's now out there because the courts have forced them to release it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is bad. It's really bad. And I really want to get to it. But I want to combine it with the information from the reaffirmation documents, right? So I'm trying to move as quickly as possible, but busyness and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so that's what I want to say. So just bear with me, and you're gonna go through some things. I don't want my church to be embarrassed, and unfortunately, we're heading down that road. And maybe some other things that I'm not seeing. I'm not a prophet, nor am I the son of a prophet. But I know when mess is coming. All right? Okay. 3. Does the Administrative Committee ADCOM of the GC, or the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, have the authority to make statements on behalf of the church? I'll put this in the description box, okay? So you can read it for yourself. I'm going to take some points from it and then I'll jump to number 4. The General Conference GC in session meets every 5 years and includes worldwide representation. It delegates authority to the GC Executive Committee to act on its behalf between sessions for the efficient operation and facilitation of God's mission through His church. The Executive Committee, in turn, gives specific authority to ADCOM, including the sharing of general counsel to the world field, right? That's what they're saying. This delegated authority includes releasing statements, guidelines, and other documents on behalf of the church when issues arise that need addressing. Since 1985, for nearly 40 years, the General Conference has released more than 75 various statements, guidelines, and other documents on public issues. There are 3 ways these materials are released. Number 1, by the GC officers. Number 2, by the GC Administrative Committee, ADCOM. And 3, by the GC Executive Committee, right? The list of General Conference statements and guidelines and other documents show that approximately 1/3 of these were released by ADCOM, which issued its first document in 1994 and subsequently issued many more statements, guidelines, and other documents covering a wide range of topics such as the integrity of the Bible, caring for the environment, and human sexuality. Neither the General Conference officers nor ADCOM have the authority to change the Seventh-day Adventist Church Manual or the fundamental beliefs, right? And then it goes towards the end here. It says here, to erode, let me see here, to reduce the GC ADCOM's authority to merely minor items is to undermine the authority of every ADCOM on the local conference, union, and division level. To erode confidence in the organizational structure of the church is an extremely serious matter. And then here comes the Ellen White quote, as I told you. I tell you, my brethren, this is from Ellen White now. This is our Selected Messages, Book 3. I'll put it in the description box. You can read it for yourself. Tell you, my brethren, the Lord has an organized body through whom he will work. Nothing wrong with that, right? That when anyone is drawing apart from the organized body of God's commandment-keeping people, when he begins to weigh the church in human scales and begins to pronounce judgment against them, then you may know that God is not leading him. He is on the wrong track. I don't think Vine was doing that. So nice quote, but Vine was not weighing the church in human scales and pronouncing judgment against them. No, he was speaking specifically to what we are going through. We put out a statement. You see, these things, quotes like this will, it's borderline spiritual abuse, because we use these quotes from Ellen White or from the Bible to shut people up, to scare them, to make them fall in line. That's what a quote like this does. I'm not afraid to say that, because in our churches, we're guilty of these things. We use the authority of a pastor, the authority of an elder, the authority of the board, and we get it wrong sometimes. We do. So it's nice to see all these things spelled out, and you're telling us how it goes. But, we get these things wrong. What we have done in terms of the documents that we put out, the statement from 2015 and the hardline document in October, we got it wrong. And the evidence is quite clear. It was, governments were coercive and forceful and punitive, and they used the documents in order to act in that manner against church people, Seventh-day Adventists. The last video, I put that letter in the description box, and I read it as well, right? So that's the issue here. That's what we're dealing with, right? When it comes to, it's not that ADCOM can't do certain things, as long as it's done the right way. So if it is delegated to ADCOM to do certain things, sure, you can. And you pointed out that, you've done some things. But, for this Ellen White quote here, which is saying that, that God is not leading him. He's on the wrong track, weighing the church in human hands, pronouncing judgment, right? Well, the commandment-keeping leadership did something that was affecting the commandment people of God. So what do we say then? What do we say then? Because Babylon was taking our statements and putting it in letters and saying, well, see, look at this. See what your church said? People were making a decision based on their religious convictions, and we didn't stand with them. Our document didn't stand with them. And we drew on the authority of God. We drew on the authority of Ellen White to say that these entities tell us that we cannot support you. But please return your tithe and free will offering and continue to sacrifice for us. That is the issue here. So yes, we can talk about undermining authority and all that stuff, but that's not the issue. That's not it. You have the authority to do certain things, fine, do it. But do it right, right? You got it wrong. You got it wrong. End of story. All right. I'm going to comment a little bit on, number 4, point number 4. Well, once again, there's nothing much for me to comment here. I'll read it to you. It says, what are the specific areas of responsibility, authority for the General Conference GC session, GC Executive Committee, and GC Administrative Committee, ADCOM? Is ADCOM empowered to issue council statements? You can read this for yourself, folks. I mean, this is a lot of parliamentary jargon. I don't mean to, use that as a pejorative or anything like that. But I'm just saying that, it's just basically the folks stating that they have the authority to do what they did. That's what they're saying. GC versus ADCOM, ADCOM versus GC. If my church board gives me the authority with a few others to do some things, then we can do that. But that, if we continue to do that, and in this particular instance, that's what happened with our GC leaders, right? You made a decision and you just got it wrong. You got it wrong, point blank. You got it wrong. You may have meant well. Sure, you were called out to say, well, you were pressured by the government. Money is involved. And I spoke about this already in, I think, point number 5, right? But you got it wrong. And the information is coming out now to say you got it wrong. Mandates are dropping. And it is not because of the vanilla. I'll say it. It's not because of the vanilla. Because now that the information is coming out, right? We now know that the methods and the steps that the government took were not in line with science. It was not in line with proper health and safety measures. We now know that, and more information is coming forward. And I'll repeat myself, we're going to be embarrassed if we don't pull back from these statements, or pull back these statements, number 1. And number 2, remember I said it as well, stand up for your members, stand up for your members, stand up for your members. Some people need to be paid for what happened to them because of the documents that we put out. So nobody's questioning your authority and saying that you don't have a right to do what you're doing on behalf of God, But we get it wrong. We get it wrong. We get it wrong sometimes because we're human beings, right? The committees that we're on, the body, ADCOM, XCOM, you name it, pastor, elder, departmental leader, whatever, we get things wrong. We do. And I think we got this one wrong. I believe so, right? The evidence is quite clear that we got it wrong. All right. So that was number 4. Just that's what it says. I'll put it in the description box. You can read it for yourself. Okay. Take care of yourself. Thanks once again for listening. If I hope what I'm saying makes sense to you. You can even tell me that it don't make any sense to you. So, I can try and make better sense. All right. Until we talk again, Remember this, only what you do for Christ will last. Stay blessed.